Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be looking at the new Rey Star Wars movie that is in the works right now. But before all that guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos from me. So guys, let's get into it. Now, last year at Star Wars Celebration we got something that was quite unexpected. Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy, who is working on the new Mandalorian movie, announced that Daisy Ridley is reprising her role as Rey in a new movie. This was completely unexpected as well. Let's just say the sequels weren't exactly loved by fans. Now, there was actually speculation that the movie had been cancelled as rumours circulated online. However, Lucasfilm has addressed these rumours and has confirmed that the movie is going ahead as planned. Even though the film was only announced last year, it hasn't exactly set the world on fire. This isn't really what fans want or what fans were asking for. So the majority of the fans have actually turned on the movie before it's even started. Now this is most likely a knock-on effect on how the sequels were and how they were received by fans. And it's not even like it's a mixed bag either. The majority of fans do not like these films and some people just straight out refuse to even watch them. Now for me personally, I actually don't think they're as bad as what everyone makes them out to be. Now I remember back in 2015 when the trailer for The Force Awakens dropped and it created so much buzz and hype in the Star Wars community. It was insane. After like a 10-year wait, we were finally getting another Star Wars movie. The last one we got was Revenge of the Sith, which ended on a really dark note, but we knew what was coming after that. We knew that the original trilogy is what follows it. With The Force Awakens, we knew that this was following on from the original trilogy, and it took us into completely unknown territory. And overall, the film itself is actually really good, and it was really refreshing after 10 years to go and see a Star Wars film in the cinema and get what we got with The Force Awakens. Next up is The Last Jedi, which is actually in the conversation for being one of the worst Star Wars films that's actually ever been made. Now personally, I think that's a little harsh because there are good points to it, but I can understand why it's the least popular of the three films. Now it is visually absolutely stunning, but the film has a lot of problems. There are just some scenes in it that don't really make any sense and could have fixed the movie just by being tweaked or not being in there at all. For example, the scene with Finn and Rose on the casino planet, like that whole thing that was going on there, that to me was not needed at all. They could have got to the point of getting a guide to get them on the ship and all that, like a lot better than what they did with that. And it actually made Finn and Rose incredibly underused in this film. And to be honest, for Rose especially, it gets worse in the next film. So that's the sequence of the film I would get rid of entirely and change because it just wasn't needed at all. The next one is the fight with Rey and Kylo against the guards in the throne room. Now this to me would have been a really cool scene if we would have had a lightsaber fight at any time in this movie. Like the idea of two people that are against each other working together to take on a bigger thing was a really cool idea, but it just didn't work considering that's the closest thing we got to a lightsaber fight in this film. I think the fact that there was no actual lightsaber fight in this movie really let this scene down because other than that, it's a really cool idea. Like if they would have actually made this a real fight between Kylo and Luke, then it would have completely made the throne room scene a lot better. And to be honest, I kind of feel like they did us completely dirty with this because when Luke showed up and walked out to face against Kylo, it was so exciting. And then to get what we got just wasn't right. Like imagine how good that fight could have been between Luke and Kylo if we would have got the Luke Skywalker that we got in The Mandalorian. But we didn't get that at all and we were completely robbed of it in my opinion. The last thing I'm going to talk about on The Last Jedi is my issue with this scene in particular. Now, I kind of liked the idea of what they were doing with Finn, with the idea that he was going to sacrifice himself to stop the First Order, to save his friends, to save everyone else. He was willing to do that, And at first I was like, nah, they're not going to kill him off, like, no way. But then the music kicked in and he got closer and closer, and I was actually on the edge of my seat. Now, I am actually glad that Finn was saved because I like Finn, but I didn't like the way he was saved. With what Rose did, she could have literally killed him. She tried to save him from dying and she could have killed him by wiping him out. And her whole speech about this is how we win by saving what we love, not killing what we hate, to me is just so stupid. You know, actually cut the mic, I'm done with this stupid movie. Anyway, rant over. That did actually kind of annoy me a little bit, so I didn't want to go on a tangent. But anyway, I took a breath. Let's move on to The Rise of Skywalker. And I swear to God, I hope talking about this movie doesn't annoy me like the last one did. Okay, alright, so this film came out in 2019, and to be honest, it had a kind of cool start to it. Showing Kylo's interaction with Palpatine was pretty cool. Well, kind of. Let me explain. So, I liked Palpatine in the movie, but I didn't like the fact that they brought Palpatine back for the movie, which doesn't make any sense, but I feel like they just got completely lost for what to do since they got rid of Snoke, and now they were like, oh, right, okay, we need a villain, let's bring Palpatine back. Like, I feel like there was next to no thought that went into it. I mean, we got no backstory on how he survived the fallen Death Star, and then with the Death Star blowing up in the same movie as well, we get nothing. Like, how did he go from this to this?
What's up now, bitches?
Like, when we watched Return of the Jedi, we were all kind of thinking the same thing.
Well, we won't be seeing him again.
But nope, he's back from the dead and we have literally no explanation. All we got was this.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow. What does that mean? I mean, to me, it was just lazy writing, to be honest. But, you know, I'm not going to nitpick too much because I'll just go on a tangent again like I did with The Last Jedi. But I feel like that film attacked me on a personal level. Okay, so, The Rise of Skywalker. It's not bad, but it's not good. Like I mentioned just before, it does have quite a few examples of really lazy writing. Like, making General Hux the spy was just really out there and strange. Like, I don't know what direction they were going in with that, and then to kill him off like pretty much immediately, like, it was just pointless because it went absolutely nowhere. And I didn't like the little cheap shot that they threw at us when they tried to convince us that they killed off Chewie, and then later on in the film tried to convince us that they had essentially killed off 3PO as well. Like, first time I watched this movie, those two things made my mouth drop. Like, I was so in shock, like, no, they have not just done that. And they didn't, and I hate them for that. The Death Star angle for me was just really weird. The fight was awful, but I did kind of like the idea of like Rey looking around the wreckage, looking for the Sith Wayfinder and coming across, you know, the dark side version of her and having like that little mini fight. It was actually really cool. I liked that a lot. And that leads me to probably my favorite part of the entire movie, which was the final act. You know, I thought visually this looked so incredibly cool. And Palpatine was really cool in it as well. The way Kylo took on the Knights of Ren, that was brilliant. I just loved everything about this. But the best part of the entire film was when Lando showed up with his entire fleet of the galaxy to go against the Empire, essentially. And you just can't top that. Like, I thought that was absolutely incredible. Like, the combination of the music and the ships, it was just absolutely awesome. I loved it. Even watching it back today, I still get chills and goosebumps from this scene. You know, out of the entire sequel franchise, this is probably my favorite moment out of all of it. And yeah, I know the film had a bit of a controversial end with Rey calling herself Skywalker, but the yellow lightsaber was actually really cool. But this moment is just amazing. Like, you can't tell me as a Star Wars fan that this moment wasn't cool for you if you like the sequels or not. So overall, the sequels were a bit of a mixed bag, but I'm kind of excited to see what they can do with Rey's character for this new film. All we know at the moment is that it's called New Jedi Order. It's set around 15 years after The Rise of Skywalker, and it's got a potential 2026 release date. But that's all we know at the moment. I will obviously keep you guys updated on this film as time goes on. But guys, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I am a very new channel, but I did recently hit 100 subscribers, and I am very thankful for all the support I've had on the channel lately in recent videos. Also, let me know in the comments if there's anything you would like to see from me in the future. I'll try to respond to as many comments as I can. But anyway guys, that's it for now, and I'll see you all in the next one.